All right, guys, so what we're looking at here, 91 Vanagon Karat. Just overhauled all of the coolant lines. So you can see those hoses there are for the aftermarket external transmission cooler. We deleted the factory cooler. That's the unit from Go Westy. Swing you around here, show you we've got the synchro style aluminum, stock aluminum transmission, or excuse me, thermostat housing with the new thermostat. You can see our new hoses here running across. You can see the stainless steel pipes that we've installed. Coming over here underneath, the supply line for the front heater core I've insulated. So you can see here. The insulation is just your standard piping. I think that is 3/4 inch wrapped around and zip tied to the stainless steel pipes. Make sure you have your retaining clips in. We're still waiting for the deluxe heater, front heater core valve from Go Westy. So you can see, continue the insulation on the supply line here. This line going is to the far left, so bottom portion of the front heater core. That's going to be the return line going back to the thermostat housing. And then the supply line here comes from the distribution tower. It's the hotter temp because it's not coming from the thermostat housing, it's coming from the distribution tower. Clip is already up there. We're waiting again for the deluxe heater shutoff valve. A lot of guys do the Ford valve. You can call it a conversion. It's basically just a one-way valve to open and close it. The Ford part is much cheaper and seems to be doing just fine for those guys. Radial arm bushings we replaced. As you can tell, I need to grease these things up. That wasn't bad. We're going to be replacing all 4 top and bottom here of the steering rack bushings. Going to replace this boot while we're at it. I've got this is a 91, so this is a 19 millimeter anti-sway bar. We're going to replace those bushings. Trying to think what else, guys. That's the aluminum distribution tower. Had to drill an additional 3rd hole for retaining it to the bulkhead. Not really going to call it a firewall. So that closest boss there on the bottom left of the T is the additional one you have to drill. See that there. Guess I could lower this bad boy down. Show you what we got going on in the engine bay, and what annoyance that I have to deal with. I'm probably gonna have to take over that crossover pipe behind the crank pulley, but I'll show you what we're talking about. So again, 91, we leave a week from today to head for Lake Havasu for buses by the bridge 2025. You can see our SOs been replaced. The fitting here has been changed to stainless steel. The pipe here was originally plastic on my 91. It was leaking. We went to stainless steel there. The issue that I was mentioning is here. This clamp on the stainless steel pipe is just fine. This is basically the feed. The flow rolls like this from the water pump. As you can see, we replaced it as well. Comes through this pipe that travels behind the crank pulley. This crossover pipe, it pushes coolant into this water jacket on the passenger side. The issue that I am facing is I'm trying to use the factory spring clamp, and I have no way to clamp it and get it. You can hear it in here. Oh, I can't get it. That's how freaking buggered up it is. There it is. As you can see, I don't have it on the section of hose and it's in such a peculiar spot. I actually might be able to get my I like to call them fancy son of a bitch. It's basically just a spring clamp set of pliers, but it's got the elongated cable on it. It assesses and helps you get into tough places like this. That one's going to be tricky, but I might actually be able to get it. Like I said, water pump's been replaced. We replaced all the sections of hose for the oil cooler and the water pump. You can see the aluminum synchro style thermostat housing. New hoses all around. Still need to clamp the evap. Stock 87 degree thermostat. My side pipe here, this is basically the bypass pipe coming from the water pump. Comes over like so, travels here. That's the stainless pipe. The externally didn't look too bad. There's a fitting, kind of like a Y, basically like this. Comes off the thermostat, goes to the bypass, and there's a port that pops off. It would be a better name for it. That goes to the heater hose that returns part of the return line for the front heater core and rear heater core. It was kind of blue there. There's been blue coolant through here, so it makes me think that it's been seeping a little bit. But internally, it looked worse than it did on the outside. So we replaced that. As you can see, this bus is an automatic. Here again is the bypass hose that runs along the back bulkhead / firewall that goes to the top portion of the distribution tower. This stuff is cruise control. My switch was toast. I picked up one from Europe and modified my cover to make it work. Go Westie's aluminum tank. All those hoses have been replaced. So you can see that we've tackled the cooling system. Going to be putting GO5 in this thing. It was running great before. I had a couple coolant leaks that were taking place by the distribution tower. That was because it had been replaced before, but the plastic one, the barbs, one was cracked and the other one was compressed. Back here on the thermostat, which typically happens with these because there's heat coming from the back of the water jacket here, it's plastic from factory, and the interior diameter, where that O-ring is, where it mates up to the head, it compresses and deforms. It causes some of that leak stuff that goes on there at the thermostat housing. Good thing about the aluminum versus the plastic, you don't use the clip-in style sensors. They are threaded in. So basically what I tried to do, as you can see, aluminum expansion tank, aluminum housing, stainless pipes where I could use them without getting replacing everything. We did the aluminum distribution tower. Really trying not to have to do this again to this particular bus. What else did we tackle in here? I've been trying to really look at everything because we're going to be hitting the road. We're talking about 3,600 miles. A little bit of mess down here coming from the power steering. Those hoses are not cheap. Not leaking here at the sensor, back here at the sensor or anything like that. Got a little bit of seeping going on. It's not crazy. The filter in there was pretty ugly, but I don't have time to get one in for the trip. But it was low on fluid, so I topped it off, and you can see the separation between old and new. So this thing really could use a flush. This van has 87,000 original miles. First owners put about 54, 56 on it, and then it sat for a little bit, and then there's been a couple owners since us picking it up in the beginning of November. I'm trying to think what else, guys. That really sums it up. Got a set of 15-inch Go Westie Riley wheels coming in. We're doing some directional all-terrain tires on it. Doing away with the CLK polished Mercedes wheel on the 215. Tire that I'm putting back on this van is 25.4 inch diameter, so basically 0.1 of an inch larger diameter than stock. So we're gonna get our speedometer back to stock. A little bit less tire rotation. This van runs really, really well. or else we wouldn't be taking it out. Just doing a lot of preventative maintenance. Don't have too many days really to shake this thing down. I'm going to try to put as many miles on it as I can, double check fittings, clamps, and really trying to pay attention to how I'm hooking everything up, making sure corners of the spring clamps are not pressing into the rubber hoses. The alignment, make sure we're not zip tying things that we don't need to zip tie. Really trying to eliminate potential roadside issues. This bus still has the rear heater. I think the rear heater pumps out stupid amount of heat. The front blower was absolute trash. This is the stock blower motor, and I don't know if I can do this one-handed. If I can get it to focus. Anyhow, it's not going to pick it up. I can't move it. The fan rattles like hell inside the cage. This bearing here, which is on the side that you can't access with the Millendorf port, it's just absolutely shot. It sounds like a bag of bolts when you kick the fan on. So new blower motor, the Phoebe Bilstein blower fan. This is the original front heater core. It's actually pretty good shape. Just have this unit off to keep fluid from dumping into the carpet when I was doing work inside. We did the rebuild kit for the heater box, so all the foam has been replaced. As you can see, we're waiting for the resistor. This one had a section of nasty hose or a wire that had gotten hot. All 3 speeds were working, but since I'm in the middle of doing this, I don't want to do it again. So what, a $60 part. So I went ahead and ordered it, had it expedited. They're calling for some weather going through I-40 through Flagstaff. So we are trying to get as much heat up front as we need. I've had modern vehicles ice up on the on I-40 going through Williams and what's west of Flagstaff? Seligman. Thank you. So get the dash out, as you can see. Also replaced the front heater core hoses. This is the top hat of the front heater box. You can see we've got new foam installed. Yeah, you can see there. Maybe, yeah. New foam installed. Lubricated the front wiper assemblies, the unions, the joints, the pivot points rather. This is the module for the cruise control. Again, automatic 3-speed. Really enjoying this thing. So yeah, that is it. It's a shit ton of work. Tons and tons of work going on. But looking to have a good time in Lake Havasu. So questions, comments, tips. My 91, I had to pull the front grill off. There's 2 screws, Phillips 3 head screws that retain a portion of the front heater box. The later vans have it, the earliers do not. They just have the 10mm bolts inside. That's really it. So if you guys see us at Lake Havasu, come say hello. Appreciate the follows and the questions and the comments and the calls. And it's funny what audience can be reached when you just share a little bit of information on the things that you're doing. So guys, Happy New Year, and we will see you on the road. Thanks.